Hi, this is Sean Murphy of SK Murphy. I'll be your MC for today's PATCA webinar on Mastering Core Project Management Skills by Dr. Suman. PATCA is the Professional and Technical Consultants Association. Learn more at patca.org, patca.org. The best way to get started is to join as an associate member for $50 at patca.org/join. You can contact me at skmurphy.com if you have questions. We're fortunate today to have a briefing by Dr. Suman on elevating project success. Dr. Suman is an accomplished strategic technical program manager. She has extensive expertise spearheading large-scale, high-impact technology initiatives over the last 15 years. She has a strong track record in digital transformations, governance, risk mitigation, and change management. She excels at leading multi-vendor cross-functional teams within Fortune 500 companies. Dr. Suman thrives in complex, fast-paced environments, aligning stakeholder interests and driving innovative software solutions. Please use the chat for questions during the formal part of the presentation. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. Dr. Suman.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sean. And I'm very happy and delighted to be a part of the PETCA. And it's really appreciated to give me this opportunity to present myself and about my company. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. Today, the topic of presentation is elevating project success, mastering core project management skill. I want to little stress here about the core project management skill. For some people, it may be sound very basic, but these are the core foundational project management skill. If you will be a master on that, your life will be so much easy. Uh, Again, like welcome, and as I said, these are seems to be very basic, but these are very conceptual, and for the project management life, this should be like a part of your on a tips like scope, schedule, budget. And I really appreciate your engagement during this session, and I put couple of a quiz for to make it more interactive. I hope you will be going to join this 45-minute session. Thank you. Agenda, project management framework. I will be talk about the key knowledge area. This key knowledge area I'm talking about for the project management perspective. For project management perspective, about communication, decision making, teamwork, and time management. And then supporting domain, budgeting, scheduling, scope, implementation. Why I'm saying this is the key knowledge area, because being a technical program manager, your 90% time is to doing the communication, making a decision, and working along with the people to achieve the goals. And definitely the time management is the most important part. These are the main key areas, but definitely the supporting area is your budget, scheduling, scope. The first basic concept here is the triple constant: scope, time, cost. If we are changing a scope, changing means either you are increasing or decreasing the committed scope based on the baseline. Then if you're increasing, then you need a more time. If you need a more time, if you want to keep the time constant, not constant means like with the same schedule, you need a more resources to accomplish what it is more it is coming in your bucket from the scope perspective. But if you have a less scope, and later on the stakeholders say they don't want the particular features, then you need to reduce your scope, and then they are definitely going to cut your cost and reducing the time for the delivery. These are the five main process group: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. If you are master for all these steps, starting from the initiation, most of the time I see project manager they miss this step like initiation, or even a planning. When we are working in an agile framework, we forget about the planning. The is execution and monitoring people give you more stress, and definitely the actual implementation happen in these steps third and fourth. But definitely the initiation, to know what it is the objective and how you are driving your team towards a common goal, and knowing your stakeholder, these are two critical part during the initiation phase. And in the planning, you are based on those goals, you are making your roadmap, how you are going to deliver, uh, and how you are executing, how you are bringing the change management into the processes. And the last phase for the closing, this is about your lesson learned. uh, like if you make any some critical changes, and if you find during the implementation there is a lot of bugs is coming, that means that there was a requirement was not captured properly, and you need to be give a more time during the planning phase to do the proper execution, so that team will be not going to brought lot of error in a production. And the second thing, your QA testing should be happen properly. One thing I want to remind, this can be implemented for anything, because I'm in a software development, I'm bringing those concepts. If somebody has a question how they can execute for their project, I'm happy to help here. Uh, Next is about the communication management. This is topmost skill being a TPM. Uh, why I said to you 90% time, like even if I'm on this meeting, I have already going on a meeting, and I think I should be more planned on those kind of a things. But sometimes things just happen, you need to manage how to communicate between the different stakeholders. And to make your clear communication, assign who is responsible, who is accountable, who should be consulted, and who should be informed. These are the two main critical, like responsible and accountable. During the implementation, people say, oh, we talk about that, but we are not accountable. Make your communication plan, who is communicating and who is after the assignment of the work, person should deliver the task, and keep continuously following up on those kind of issues. Next is the scope management. Scope is like what you are going to be delivered. I'm giving an example, like I'm talking about lot of IT. I put a simple example for like any everybody can understand this, about the construction of a house. During your planning phase, like when you are doing your design, what you require, like your permit, your drawing should be there, how you are going to build, your basic stuff will be there. Then second step is your current electrical plumbing, what it is your prerequisite kind of a thing, and how you need to get the for permit, it's a separate approval. The construction, like you have your interior, you have your exterior kind of a design, and the painting and all this kind of a thing. The inspection, if the work is really according what you put on a structure, what are the drawings, are you building according to that, because you get the approval only for your drawings, not later on you can start something adding on those kind of a things. And if it is like a government based project, it will be very messy if you will not follow the right drawings, right permit during your construction phase. The turnover and like walk through, making the inspection, getting a approval, and closing the project. Next is about decision making technique. Technique is the SWOT, Moscow weighted scoring. And weighted scoring, I put example as well. SWOT is your like strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And Moscow is your must have feature, or should have feature, could have, or weight, like would have. Like when you have a particular project, and when you're starting to during the implementation, product management team is saying something, engineering team saying something, stakeholder from the leadership is bringing some different perspective, come together, bring a based on your communication plan, come together for a 1 hour planning, make sure what should be must have, should have, could have, would have, and put into the ranking. And what it is like, if the your features or like your product is already in a production, and if you redefining those kind of a things, then you have a some basic idea from the beginning what it is already liked by the customer and how you can make more refinement, those kind of a things. The next is definitely it's very close to me, teamwork and the conflict management. As I mentioned, you couple of a different team, product management, program management team from the PMO, your engineering team and leadership from the business partner, and then your in engineering also you have a QA team, your development team, networking team, data management team, lot of different peoples come. And when new people is come, definitely you are form initially you form a team, but there is just some phase come about the storming when the people start open their self and bringing their ideas, and then people do the brainstorming. Some people take some time personal, and this is like more during the planning phase it's happen, like lot of back and forth happen in this phase. And being a TPM, your role to make sure you will pass this phase very quick, so that you are will be in a normal environment and teams start performing. Your objective should be to do this performing, not spending more time in this phase. That's why the agile concept is there. Make a short window for like a 2 weeks or 1 week based on your organization structure. Have a daily stand up, do the retrospective, and make sure your goals is clear. Roles and responsibility, which I already said, your RACI matrix, who should be accountable, who should be going to deliver, who should be we need to inform. These things should be very clearly. Being a TPM, it's your role team. Means I'm saying people just push me multiple times. It's your role. Be in charge of your delivery. And time management and scheduling. As I said, you when you have a scope, then you are dissecting the scope into the more deliverable features, and when the one individual able to work in the IT and Scrum, we call it a user story, and one user story have a some certain point based on a number of works. It could be like main basic criteria. It must be assigned to uh, one person, like one person is capable to deliver that work. It should not be that user story assigned sometime to A, sometime to B, and sometime to C. No, from end to end, based on acceptance criteria, one person should able to deliver from end to end. That is the user story criteria, and it help in time management. Put the dates in your all the user story and make your scheduling based on that, and do the commitment. At least the high level, maybe all the features and details should not be there, but basic understanding should be there what we are going to achieve. And this is more time management and scheduling come during the planning, when you are creating your baseline, what it is the scope baseline, what it is for the time management, and then further it is about your cost. I'm coming the next point, the budgeting and the cost control. uh, your budgeting, you plan something, that's what you are doing your planning phase. You have a some certain particular task, you have a some date, and if you are going to spend like 8 hours, how much is going to be charged. These are your baseline, you are preparing your budget, and based on the budget, when you start during the execution, how this cost is in occur, and that is your actual cost. And this is your difference, like are you on a budget or are you behind the budget if you are spending more, or are you spending less, or if you are almost equal 5% here and there, it just an initial estimation, it can be go wrong here. Like in my work experience, I see people put during the initiation phase or like a E0. We just do not have a so much, it's just a one high level goal. And then second is about when we have a E1, when we are in a planning, we know like what it is actual going to be happen. But when you have a E2, now you know during the implementation what actually it is happening. And Now it's time for you, team. Everybody, like I have some communication quiz also. I'm giving you that you are leading a global project team where the cultural difference affect communication styles. What's the best approach? A, B, C? What do you prefer? Please take your time to read the question, and maybe you can put your answer in the chat, or
We have one answer of B.
yeah, that's the correct. Always adapt the
Teresa said B, so that's two correct. All right. Well, we've kind of given away the answers. Is there a prize for the right answer, Dr. Simon? Is that
No, I didn't put a price. It's more to
just the
make,
ability to successfully manage projects? That's the prize.
yeah, yes, yes. Yes, to adapt the communication format to suit cultural preferences. It's not based on a one single person or in like based on a location. It's based on your team which you form from the multicultural environment to make your team success being a project
So just
manager.
out of curiosity, could you explain what the challenges are with either A, using a single standard communication style for everyone, or C, avoiding sensitive topics to prevent misunderstandings?
The single thing will okay. One thing
Because we
can't
had
be
some A
for
answers. That's why
everything.
I'm asking. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, like one thing can't be fit for everything. Like you need to be a tailored person. Like if you are having going into the market also and having a dress for the M size, small size, these are more kind of a standard format. But is it fitting to everybody? No. I'm just giving you a very basic example. Just buying a dress, going, you know your size is M, but based on even a brand, the things can change. One single size can't be fit for everything. You need to be more cautious when you are talking with the team. Like I have a team from the Poland, I have a team from the Israel, I have an offshore team from India. Uh, and I have a East Coast team, and we are in a Pacific. Even sometimes the accent of a team, like we have a some name of a person, and even my like it was just like a half an hour before my SVP was not able to pronounce the name properly, but he asked very politely, "Am I pronouncing your name correctly?" The person said, "Yes, sir." Means it's like how we doing our communication. We don't know about the different culture, and it's happened with me. Sometime I asked to one person ki, hey, can you please tell me from where you are, and it was misunderstood ki I'm trying to means it's become sometimes sensitive. For me it was just like with open heart just asking him from where are you, and sometimes people take it otherwise. Means that's why being a technical program manager you need to understand the nerve of a people, and you can't go always right, but you are in a learning. Everybody learns, and even up to the old age I have a lot of communication with senior people. Everybody learns in that, and most important, learn and learn from your mistake and be a nice human being. Did I answer your question, Sean?
Sorry. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to the next quiz. Risk management in Agile project. I put very simple so that it will be easy. During a sprint, a high priority feature face a technical roadblock. What's the most effective action? We have a three option again.
So just for my benefit and maybe others that don't know, what is the RAID log? RAID.
It's about risk, assumption, and your issue and your decision making. Those things is your are coming from the RISI matrix. It's a
Ah,
dependency, yeah, risk, assumption, issue, and dependencies.
okay.
Mm. Is anyone
So
responded?
we had one C, three C's, two B's, three C's. Oh, and then we got a clarification of RAID. and two more C's. So C seems like it's the most popular one.
Um, like if you want to be very proactive and based on a sensitive line, the C is the right answer, because raise it on the daily stand up, because you have following your scrum stand up, and adjust the sprint scope, because if your sprint length is for 4 weeks, then you will be delayed by 4 weeks. When being a TPM, when you see anything as a risk, assumption, issue, and dependency, bring those as soon as possible, because one dependency can it block to the other people. I can give you the good example here. It just happened with me when I was like we are doing that thing. Initially we have a dependency on other team, and we have like a multi-factor authentication. We are building a some app, and we thought like we are like a on-prem, and we have a cloud application. We thought initially we are using the same infrastructure from the cloud and putting into the on-prem. That was our assumption initially. But later on we found now we have a dependency, because those API which we are calling, they don't work the same environment like how it is work in a cloud and into the in a SaaS application cloud and on-prem. And later on it is a dependency, but if this dependency we have some certain timeline, if it will be not going to work, it will going to become a risk. And if based on this risk, if they will not deliver on time, then it will be a issue and impacting our delivery, or it may block.
So some people picked A and B, and their questions are, when is it appropriate to escalate immediately to the sponsor A, and when is it appropriate to add the issue to the RAID log? How would you just differentiate when to take those other two actions?
Okay, red logs you add means immediately, but discuss during the next step. This is a trap here. Discuss during the next sprint. That is a trap. Add the issue, you should do immediately when you get to know on the same day within a 24 hours, because definitely people have some other priority. That's like the expectation. And this one, escalate immediately to the sponsor. No, sponsor is more kind, they are giving a funding like as a main key stakeholder. Even they are at the executive level. You shouldn't presenting every day to the executive meeting. We get a every 2 weeks. What I was with my SVP call, that I was telling ki we were in a means with the, and we put our like one or two item, because we can't go even with 10 number of things to the leadership. Hey, we need the help. Then they were saying, in between me and them there is a two layers. What they are doing, at your immediate manager you have your cross functional manager, but not to the sponsor. Try to solve whatever you can do the best, but if it is a cross functional and it is a major block and there is no agreement coming between the cross functional team, definitely you can escalate to the sponsors.
What would be an example of something you would escalate immediately to the sponsor?
Immediately,
What if
we
half the
have a
team
some, okay,
resigned?
I can give the example which we have a some like a connectivity between the SaaS and the on-prem. But that connector size, when we are making a bundling the OVA from the different like a common services operating system, that size is going like a more than 14 gigabyte. It's very difficult to put 14 gigabyte on prem to the customer location, and they will saying ki, why I need to pay for 14 gigabyte if I need for the 10. These kind of a things, because the other team is saying you know their package is coming in that form and they can't reduce, and we try to use multiple different technology kind of a thing. In those kind of a thing, definitely we need to bring the sponsor attention ki now this is kind of a bottleneck. How we want to approach our things? Are we going to pay for that if we are bringing a big bundle to install over there, or how we going to do the in cost to the customer, because this is coming from us and we can't go more than that, and customer is not going to happy to pay for this big, because they need only the application. This is what we are bringing a piggyback to them to run our application.
So
Did
we
I
have
give
a
it?
we have a suggestion that you should never escalate immediately to the sponsor. You should always follow the chain of command. Is that your perspective?
Correct.
What if half the team quit on Monday morning?
Could you repeat?
What if half the team quit on Monday morning?
No, that's not the sponsor thing. This is like you are not even running your team with the one people. If it is quit, it's okay. You need to understand. But usually we have a 2 weeks time if somebody is
Okay.
quitting, and if somebody will be not coming, like they say they can't come from tomorrow. It's okay. We have always backup. These are coming into the buffer. We put a buffer also when we are giving a schedule or timeline to the senior management. We do our own analysis, with the help of the team, and still we keep a buffer. And like when we are so mature, when we are working as a team, people understand like a week or couple of a days can go here and there, but is this delay is impacting the other team, or it's this delay is impacting your overall delivery? Those things matter. Did I answer the question?
So, but what I took from that was always follow the chain of command.
Correct. Correct. I always follow the chain of command. Sure. Are you able to hear me, or?
I'm sorry, I'm nodding my head. Yes, I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Maybe we go the next. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, stakeholder conflict management. Two key stakeholders disagree on a project priorities. What's your first step? I think it's becoming more interesting. What's your first step? Being a nice technical or program manager or technical program manager, what you do? Always think about the human aspects as well.
It looks like everybody wants to do B, facilitate a joint workshop to align objectives.
Absolutely, 100% B is the answer. You always go with the joint. You means people have a different thinking, different mindset. Bring the two different team together and let's resolve. There is it's not like a rocket science or something. Means it's about the human being when we have to work together towards the common goal. Okay, the fourth question,
Could
scope
could
documents.
we go back for a second? At what point would you escalate?
Escalate the conflict to the senior leadership
Yeah.
when you have, okay, like disagreement happen, you did your first step, you understand, you meet individually with this team, then you bring together, still this agreement is not happening and you are missing the timeline, because that we have this example also. We need to do something by 4th of August and it didn't happen. Now it's going to be by August 15th, tomorrow. In this, it's not like it's a senior leadership means direct, not the sponsor is at very more higher level, but the agreement didn't come. Who is going to be implement during the planning? Everybody is there, everybody able to understand the role, but something happen, some new requirement come and it is not yet clarified. Then at that time, and it's slipping your timeline, now you are 10 days behind and it is very critical, and based on a budget also. Like this customer project, it's like a 300 million dollar project for a government thing. Nobody want to make a chance to put their job on the edge. People need to come on a agreement. There is a lot of factor impact. It's not about, and sometimes people don't want to do just agree because their job is on edge.
So
We need to.
we had a couple of comments. One was make sure the workshop is focused and you leave the meeting with a clear way forward. And second is the business priorities can change as project needs change. Sorry, the business priorities can change as such. Project needs need to adjust to align with the business.
Yeah, I agree with this point also. But conflict to escalate the senior leadership when the agreement is not happening, or when you are missing a timeline, or you did your all the efforts, like bringing a clarification after the workshop. That is also the outcome of this. You are sharing the meeting minute and still people is not means agree. So then you can escalate the senior leadership. I really appreciate both the comments also. That's very good point. Meeting minutes always be being a TPM need to be shared within a cross-functional teams. What's the outcome and next steps? Let's go to the
Okay.
next. Scope creep prevention. A department had requested an additional feature after scope has been finalized. What's the best practice? What's the answer? Is
Looks
anybody?
like looks like everybody is saying B.
Yes, that's correct. I think everybody knows the project management very well. This is definitely correct answer. Submit the request through the formal change control, because when you have your initial that I was saying, like initiating, planning, execution, during the planning phase, you set your baseline. After that, doing any change, you are increasing a scope, decreasing its scope, or increasing timeline, removing resources, whatever it is. Those were when you finalize it the first time. These are your baseline. Any change happen, it should go through the change control process.
And just for clarity, when is it appropriate to decline the request outright? And do you ever add a request to keep a stakeholder happy?
uh, Decline the request straightforward. It depend, you need to tell ki, hey, this is my role, we are aligned with this is not coming under our responsibility, this is the part of that team, and if you are not agree, let's work together and decide who is going to be do what. But as based of my understanding, we take this decision during this meeting into the planning, and this is not coming under our team. If you still thinks, let's meet and bring the team together and discuss. Means it's not a straightforward decline, but then person will think through that. If it's a smart TPM, they will think through that ki if she is saying there is just some doc, means definitely when I'm saying ki I will bring that, hey, these the notes when we capture, maybe I misunderstood, this is not under part of our team. If you're still thinking in that way, we can meet together. The person will be going to do their own exercise and trying to make sure it is the question or the request change about the scope, it's addressed to the right team or not. If it is addressed to the right team, it can come, like scope creep can happen, but we need to be properly documented and proactive in our communication.
Sounds good.
Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Now we talk about the initiation and planning, and now we are in implementation. This is your execution thing and delivery. In the waterfall, people was doing for end to end, like it's a 1 year project, 2 years project. Now the things specifically in the software technology changing it super fast. uh, Rather than waiting for a 1 year for the new product build or new feature, like we have a concept of a MVP or beta or prototype, those kind of a things, it should be tested and getting the customer feedback very early, and then enhance those feature. At least we were talking about one thing, like initially when I'm putting my product, I don't want how ugly is look like my baby. One of person was making comment like on my product, how ugly is look like. But what it is, the criteria of that means it's a minimum viable product, means it's making a sufficient use of that of the product, but it's not you are putting lot of like a cosmetic on that so that it will be like spend a lot of money, lot of time as well, and increase the scope of delivery as well. And that's why people, agile means like fast, and people do those pieces like in a chunk of a delivery of a 2 weeks, 1 week's what work for the organization. This whole things like requirement gathering, designing, then development and testing and deployment in a production for the end user uses, it's come into the very small pieces. You are doing, you are getting like small requirement, and not small requirement, I'm not saying about the scope, you are dividing your scope when one particular application can be done. Like if you are in a IT background, you have a monolithic approach. Now in the monolithic we are doing with the SOA architecture with the microservices. One microservice is just fetching the address, changing the address of a person. Like I have some kind of a API, I can make a call for my customer and to get this particular zip address. I don't want to this change in a more whole application rather than changing a one piece in my application. Now we have a separate web server, separate application server, separate databases, so that they are not impacting to each other if one change happen in one. So that's why initial days it was like from here to here in one go, but now we are doing this all the steps into the small chunks like a 2 weeks, 1 weeks. Like for the Google and all these things, they do the every night deployment, CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration and continuous delivery, and they put into the production directly. Resource management, human, financial and material resources. Resources, sometimes people say ki we have a resources. Are they talking about the human resources or the financial resources or your infrastructure resources, your even your laptop or your virtual machine or your station, any can be thing. Like with that, for the histogram and the skill matrix, but when we are implementing a project, the skill matrix is very important. What technology we are doing or using to implement the project, the people know that technology, otherwise people will be going to struggle a lot on that and the delivery can impact. Always trying to align your best resources based on that what they know. I just want to take very little time on that. And next is the risk management. This is the major aspect for the cross-functional team or for the leadership or management. First, definitely you need to review your project plan during the from the very beginning. It's not like you need to do in a certain phase. Risk is the throughout your project. From the very beginning, did you identify the correct stakeholder? Then analyzing and respond to the risk. What mitigation strategy, or are you accepting the risk, or are you just mitigating those risks? You need to understand the strategy. And then risk assumption issue dependency, which I said to you earlier also. Make sure if you have starting your assumption, it can become later on the dependency, and if this dependency will not able to deliver by certain date, it will be a risk for you to slip your timelines as well. And if this risk happen, then it become your issue. And then definitely you need to go to your stakeholders, say at the executive level, now you are in this trouble. But you starting escalating or sharing the information when you started with your assumption and dependency and risk, you told in from like every week, and now if the leadership is not able to help, then definitely means your immediate manager or one more level, then definitely it is a part of the sponsor things. Stakeholder engagement. This is when I was talking to the Sean, when in my, like I was discussing, he was saying this is very important being a consultant. And definitely we need, being a TPM, we need to understand the nerves of a people. or nerves of our stakeholder. Stakeholder can be anybody from your developer, or it may be engineer, those who is coming at just to set up a network for your application, and then gone. People comes and go based on which phase you are, but you need to understand who are your stakeholder and what they are expecting being a program manager from you. You need to understand these are the like four category, and this I'm taking from the Pinbook book. It's a book of knowledge, and designed by the throughout the world people, and bringing through the best practice. In this column you have a low interest and low influence people. Here they have a low interest but they have a high influence. I mean, sometimes even you are not seeing once in a while kind of a thing, and not responding, you are sending a 4 5 email and you are sharing your project update, and all of a sudden they point out one thing and it become a major things. And this is your high interest but they have a low influence, and this is super critical. They have a high interest as well and they have a high influence as well. You need to always keep these people happy, manage closely. Yeah, see in this next slide, this high interest and high influence, definitely this is your critical uh, things. You need to really work closely with these people. uh,
Dr. Suman, you mentioned a book and I didn't catch the name of it. Would you mind saying it again?
PMBOK,
Oh, PMBOK.
PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. This is from the PMI, Project Management Institute. If you are
All
a
right.
member of anybody PMI, you can download the soft version anytime without paying anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you it's a good point. One thing, like if you want to be a project management professional PMP, this is very renowned certification. If you want to get that certification, you need to be a member of a PMI and you need to pay for that for the certification. But this is very valuable and people recognize you based on what kind of a certification you have in a project management. Yeah, I'm a PMP certified, and mostly question come from this book, but definitely you need to use your knowledge also. It's a 200 question, like 180, it's a 3 hours time and 200 question. It's super it's very valuable. Means overall like everything is good but it's very valuable certification. Closing thoughts, like definitely being a TPM, you always encourage for the collaboration and continuous learning for the team. That is your always the focus, and create the collaboration between the different team. It's not, don't work in a silo. If you watch out like people is working in a silo, bring together, it's help them in their increasing their moral values as well. When we start giving a demo, people feel they are a part of a community, they are a part of a big company, they are accomplishing a big goal. And continuous learning, it's for yourself also being a TPM, and it's for the other people as well. Always help the team. And from theory to practice, real world example, launching a product or in internal improvement, learn from the other people. That's the like best way I can say here. And tools and technique, like Jira tool for the Scrum, it is most popular. Asana, couple of things, and decision making techniques which I was saying, you need to understand like your strength, weakness, where it is your opportunity, where it could be difficult to go forward because it's a threat. And like must have, could have, or like based on a percentage weighted average. Okay, this is all. And this is my LinkedIn and my phone number and my email ID. And thank you so much for attending the call today. And I really appreciate for your time. And please go ahead if anyone have a question. I'm here to.
So we have two questions and then I'll open it up that came in. Um, the first is when you showed the 2x2 matrix of high interest, high influence, low influence, any tips or suggestions for how to do that mapping? What do you look for? How do you do that?
I think this is not all like, okay, if I will go back, I want to just say one thing specifically. Here, if you will see, when you do, if are you able to, these are the PMBOK. Here it is also mentioned about the guide. Your first thing when you assigned as a TPM or project manager, program manager, you need to look on your charter, what it is the objective, from who is the sponsor, who will be your key stakeholder. At that time it is mentioned in a charter who is sponsoring that. From that you have your exploring meeting with those peoples, having a kickoff, that is your stakeholder analysis you do initially. But when you are moving from this process group to this process group, you are evolving the more people. But the first step itself during your initiation, it is your stakeholder analysis. How to do that? Because definitely your sponsor is influenced because they are paying you the money, and they brought you in a project based on your capability. Then you need to know who is your key resources, your delivery manager, engineering manager will bring their own team. And then your, means what kind of a nature of a project, do you have a networking team also should be involved. Definitely you need to bring your own knowledge and to understand the people in which group the people is come. Okay, in city group we have one thing, initially we do a demand management. When we do a demand management, and based on how many hours from what resource group we are going to be used, this captured, and the demand management group, it's a particular group, they approved that. After when the program is approved at the demand management by those stakeholder, then it is come as a your program or project. But during the demand management itself, in which group it is a demand to do something, at that time you are also able to know your key stakeholder, means at least the like management level. But this manager, they bring their own team to accomplish the goal.
And we had just an observation or suggestion from Chandra that she takes your the triangle of scope, schedule, and sorry, I forget the
Scope, schedule, and budget.
scope, schedule, and budget, and she adds quality. Do you have a perspective on that? How do you look at quality?
Yeah, sure. Definitely quality lies in between. If you are in, okay, that's okay. Let me go in the slide again. If you put here in this, the quality, oh, this is a quality where if you're
Okay, so you actually
increasing,
have the four in there. It's just the three corners, and then
yeah.
quality is
But
okay.
quality, it is like then you have a risk also, then you have a resources also. If you're increasing the scope, but you want to do at the same time and not bringing a more people, then you're decreasing the quality. The all the sanity check didn't happen, all the use cases not passed, means like you need to be more mindful on those kind of a thing, how you are using your resources. Everybody is doing a implementation, you didn't get the time for to check it, and quality can go away. Like even I'm being a, like it's very simple example, I need to prepare for this presentation for my SVP. I started yesterday first thing in the morning. It didn't happen up to the end of the day, up to 8 p.m. yesterday I was working, and again I was getting a feedback on that. These things is happen because scope increase, people, every stakeholder want to put their own input. Do this, Suman, remove this sentence, add this, not this, that thing. This thing happen because my scope, based on a best of our knowledge from last 2 weeks, I prepared the draft, let's do that. It didn't accomplish up to like 1 hour before the presentation. To bring it up to the quality, you really need to invest the time. If I was not investing a proper time listening from the everybody, stakeholder will be not happy, and the quality was poor to present to the SVP.
Cool. We have another question. I run a tech partner company helping startups scale. The challenge: founders often change scope mid project. Per per hour billing keeps us safe but feels expensive to clients, while fixed price projects create friction. What's the best way to handle this?
I think I always use the middle ground kind of a thing. The certain thing which you are sure, make a fixed price means. But if you see कि this could be changed and you are uncertain and these are there is a unknown, and then put it is for the ongoing cost. Did I answer the question? Or we
Abu,
can work
Abu
offline. You
Bakr,
have my
did that address your concern, or do you want to? Yes, he says thank you.
yeah, and yeah, what it is fixed, what it is moving or like a fluctuating, that will be definitely the ongoing cost. But what it is fixed, which you know for sure, go with the, and you have my contact detail. Contact me means after the this call or whenever you have a time. We can talk more on that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Other questions for Dr. Saman? So there's a request to please mention the tools and techniques. Can you
Uh,
elaborate? You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I use that and I have a couple of a backslide as well. Mainly like if you are in a IT project manager, you can use the Microsoft. That is more kind of a for construction and bigger project. But if you are in a like a IT, the Jira is the biggest tool. But we have for the scope document, we have a PTS. It's our internal in-house build tool where we get approval on the scope document from the leadership and all this kind of like documentation for teamwork together. We use like it's don't count with the city, but Microsoft team, you can have a webex chat, you have your chat space where when you have a issue easily call, definitely the email system. And these are the 5 6 things like where your requirement is properly written and the high level into the scope document. When you are more refining, that is coming in a Jira. After that, how you are implementing those status update, it is happening into the reporting purpose. We integrated the Tableau to pull out the report into the Jira and look on those report how the teams is working. And another thing like for the QA perspective, we have a ALM, we have a couple of different tools we have. Those is used by my engineering tool. For me, it's mostly the Jira to get the status update. We have an internal tool for the PTS scope documentation and the Confluence we also use. And smart seat, people can use whatever it is fit to their, even the Google for the startup, they have a pretty good package. And this slide I prepare into the Google slide means it's not my like I'm paying for something. These are the flight inside a Google one. You have all the things you have for the documentation, Excel, presentation. These are the basic thing for the TPM. Did I
Cool.
answer the question?
Yes, I think you did. I think you did a great job. I think we're going to break here. I
Mhm.
want to thank everybody for coming. And Dr. Saman, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye
All right.
team. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.